And what do you know? What do you know? We made it to another Friday. How did we manage to make it to another Friday?
I have no idea.
Oh my God! Well, it is Friday, November the 19th. Just about a week to Thanksgiving here in the U.S., which is this Thursday. But for right now, we have some people in the chat. We have Adam in there. We have actually a few people in here. Say hi to everyone who is in the chat. And here, of course, with once again Steve from VisionAddict.com.
Hello, hello.
Start kicking it old school. So what are we going to talk about today, Steve? What's on our agenda for today?
I have no idea. Seniors, those old-timer moments. Actually, I want to talk about Activision. That's what I want to talk about. It's such a ridiculous... No, not the case is ridiculous, but how far this has gone. I was educating you earlier there, Glenn, on the whole, what's basically happened over there. There's been lawsuits and people suing Activision Blizzard for harassment, sexual harassment basically, and unfair pay wages. Like women were getting paid less for the exact same job a guy was doing, which is weird and odd.
Technically, that'd be kicking it old school, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's so anyways, what's happening, this has been going on for a few months, and Microsoft and Sony have chimed in and basically backed up the people, said, hey, this is unacceptable behavior in the workplace. This move is really unprecedented, which is great that the tolerance is zero, but oh my God, I can't imagine how this has got blown out of not out of proportion, but yeah. So anyways, that's basically it, what's going on with that. So it's I don't know. I don't know if anybody's got maybe we're just all old school. Activision is always making the newer stuff nowadays with Diablo 2 Resurrected.
Right?
which is Diablo 2 with high def graphics, but I have a feeling they're not doing so well because people are probably boycotting them for their crap. But
Really?
yeah, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So, anyways, what do you think? I know it's a
I don't,
delicate subject, but it's kind
well,
of odd.
first of all, I want to say I guess I apologize. The background I had, I guess, had some music in it. So
Did it?
the tunnel I was going down had music in it. I didn't realize there was music. People like it's too loud. Turn it off.
Oh,
So
so nobody heard what I said. Oh my God,
probably
Glenn.
no, I don't know.
Well, I'll
But they
let you
said it was
say it
loud.
again then, damn it.
Steven said a bunch of stuff, and it was a bunch of stuff about Blizzard. So sorry about that. Hopefully the music. I see -1 said the same thing. Hopefully the music is off. Hopefully it is. Well, that's weird. You try something different, and then we get slapped with a lot of loud background music. So is what it is. Hey, if I didn't screw one thing up, it wouldn't be one of my shows. So
Well, yeah,
that's what it is.
exactly. One
Um,
screw up per session, or at
so
least six.
how long has this been going on with Blizzard right now with this
Apparently, it's been
lawsuit?
going on for, well, I don't know the exact timing of it, but I know I heard about it this summer, this spring, that there was people literally going after Blizzard for these allegations that turned out to be true, uh, of HR not doing anything. Unbelievable. Like these women were going, hey, look, these people were apparently they had a Cosby room,
Right?
like a built
Oh, really?
apparently something like that. I was like, oh my God. And like I said before, Microsoft and Sony have stepped up and said this is horse crap, And I sat there and I was, wow, it's unprecedented in the industry to go, okay, this doesn't belong in our industry, that type of behavior.
You know
But
what's
apparently it's
funny?
been going on for years,
But you know what's
years.
funny? What's funny when you say something like that? Atari, started the industry. They weren't the first console out there, but they started this whole industry. And Atari was all about getting the secretaries in the hot tub, doing cocaine,
Oh yeah, yeah, they were having orgies over there.
womanizing,
Yeah, yeah,
naming computers and stuff after the women, womanizing, everything under the sun. And
yeah,
not that that was right, not that that was right, but you know,
yeah. Back
it's what
then,
happened
I
back
was.
then. And now, we're talking like 40 years later, obviously, but the toleration is like, zero tolerance for it. And it should be. Although I have to admit, if if roles were reversed, I can't see too many guys having a problem with being becoming a piece of a sexual visualization for these executive women. Guys just would not. I mean, I don't think they would be
I don't
like,
know that. Like I said, it's a delicate subject, obviously, because of the nature of it. But it's unbelievable where it's reached. Like
right.
it's reached to literally the state of California suing them for that type of behavior. It's like unbelievable.
Now,
So
I know
yeah,
Activision is not like the company it used to be at all, just like Atari is
no,
not the
God,
company
no.
it is. But Blizzard, I mean, Blizzard, yeah, it's got some money in the bank, does it not? I mean, Blizzard, World of
Maybe not
Warcraft
these
and
days
everything,
with
right?
all this stuff going on.
But they did. I mean, the World of Warcraft and those type of games made them a gajillion dollars. I mean, they were
Oh, it
like,
did. Yeah, yeah. Like the Diablo series. What else? It's a bottomless pit of hit after hit. But after a while, I think they let it all go to their heads
right.
and other places, and just yeah, they just got full of themselves. I guess I don't know.
And what's
It's
funny? I'll do this. I'm going to back up the California lawsuit against Blizzard and Activision. I will get behind them 100% if they reverse what I've been hearing by Kathleen Kennedy getting a
oh yeah,
contract renewal for
oh
3 more
yeah.
years.
I
What the
died a
heck?
little bit inside when I heard that. I was like, well, how is that even happening? It's like a nightmare in another dimension. We all got switched to another dimension.
Well,
Unbelievable.
I'm sure people, if you don't know, there's a very funny guy named Doomcock. I remember when
Oh yeah.
his channel is only not even if it is just a year old. It's got like
Yes, I remember.
260 or 70,000 subscribers. I'm here 8 years. I got 7,000. So people obviously like the stuff he does, and it's entertaining. And he posted a video earlier today. I didn't see it till Steven told me because I usually do watch him, but I missed it. Saying that Kathleen Kennedy may have gotten a contract extension for 3 more years. With that being said, the other rumors is that she can't touch anything Star Wars related. I mean, she's still with the company because here's
Thank
the
the
me.
Lord.
Yeah,
Thank the
it's the
Lord.
Me Too movement. So no company is going to go kick her out because that would be a huge
That
PR
looked bad
nightmare.
on them. It
But
would look bad on them, sadly.
but apparently she still can get her hands all over Indiana Jones. And I'm not any happier I am with
Uh,
that than Star Wars.
I don't know what's going on exactly over there. Yeah, they shouldn't be renewing her contract. They should let her sweep the floor or something, but that's pretty much it in my opinion.
And I got to say, it's not because she's a woman. It is
No, God,
not.
no.
It got
It
nothing to
could
do
have
with
been a
that.
guy destroying Star Wars, we'd feel the same way.
Well, we did. There was some jerkhole who did The Last Jedi. So that was a guy.
No, but there
I'm not
was still
mentioning his
Kathleen
name.
Kennedy there driving the boat, so to speak. But
There
it
is.
could have been anybody.
Right.
Glenn and I don't like people fucking with Star Wars,
Right.
basically.
Well, it's more so for me than that. I mean, for me, a lot of these companies, a lot of these movie studios are using nostalgia to sell you
Yep.
something new. So when you're being told it's Battlestar Galactica, Star Wars,
Or even
whatever,
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters,
Yeah,
there's a certain there's a certain thing that goes along with that. Okay, because you're
that's
obviously
right.
using those names to say for that recognition for people like us to go, oh my God, a new one coming out. I mean, young kids don't know anything about it, so they either would see it or not.
That's
But
right.
when you're using those names, you're driving it towards our generation to get us to go see it. And if we're going
Or
to go
our
see
kids.
that, right, and to bring our kids with us, and if you're going to have show us something that completely obliterates or destroys, I'm going to use the word canon. It's kind of weird to say it that way, but there's a lore that goes with it. And when
Yeah,
you take that and just literally just take blue poo and smear it on our faces, saying, "Well, this is
yeah,
how it is nowadays," call it something else.
yeah.
You
Come up
know,
with your own stuff. Like
right,
like you and I have had these discussions off the air, so to speak, and you and I agreed that when you take these properties, there's a responsibility in a sense where you have to honor it
right,
and respect it. Otherwise,
right,
just come up with something else.
right.
Come
And
up
but
with
that's the problem.
something else, and they're not creative enough, I suppose, to come up with their own stuff. So in the end, and that exists for all the licenses. It's Ghostbusters. You and I spoke just before the show started, 2016. They
Right,
had Ghostbusters, and that's again, it's not because there was girls there. They screwed up that movie. It didn't feel like Ghostbusters. It had some minor elements. The special effects were good, but in the end, they didn't honor the roots of that world, so to speak. And I think there's a certain responsibility, and I think Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau respect the Star Wars lore, and they can get pretty creative
right.
with respect, in a sense. You know what I mean?
Well,
It's not like your
they,
hands are tied and all that
Ahsoka
stuff.
Tano when she first came out in the first animated, film,
Yep,
Star Wars.
Clone
No, I
Wars.
didn't like her at all. I couldn't stand her. I'm like, she didn't. Anakin
She
never
was
had
a
a
little
Padawan.
annoying.
She was very annoying. Now she's my next to Vader. She's like right there with him
She's
as a
awesome.
favorite
Like I
character.
think they've developed that character so well, so well. It's
Right.
a
And then there's
they've come a long
Ray,
way.
and there's Ray, who I hate more than God. What do I hate more than something? I don't know.
Look at it
Step.
this way: with that, it's like there's no character building that happened
No.
to say, hey, this is what she worked to get where she's at. No, no,
Right.
it was all handed to her, and
Right. I mean,
thanks for coming
Ahsoka.
out, kind of thing. It's
She
like, oh,
came in
come
as
on.
an annoying character who thought she knew everything to find out she didn't know anything.
Yeah,
But then
exactly.
her character, built up and she built up to something. Not to say that there aren't people who are naturally talented at things, right?
Hmm.
I'm naturally talented at screwing up my videos every time I do a live stream. It's just a natural talent that I do. But
Yeah,
with that being said, there'll come times where people are, if you're good at everything, there's no sense watching it. It's boring. There's no
there's no
drama.
struggle. There's
Right.
no, yeah, exactly. They didn't pay the price. They didn't start off at the bottom. Everybody likes a uh, what do they call underdog story in a sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think they just failed to do that. So for me, Mandalorian redeemed Star Wars for me totally. But the new stuff, it's not memorable. Like if you ask me anything about episode, what is it, 7, 8, and 9, I mean, there's Kylo Ren, and you know what I mean? Like there's nothing memorable. They killed off Han
Correct.
Solo. That scarred me pretty good. That kind of thing. And you just sit back and you're like, there's nothing memorable. But if you ask me something about Return of the Jedi and the original Star Wars and all that stuff, even the Phantom Menace, I remember. You know what I mean? Like
Well, that's the
There's
only good
some.
thing from Kathleen Kennedy's films. They made the prequels look good, and
Oh yeah,
that was not
exactly.
easy. That was
Yeah,
not easy.
exactly. Yeah, the best of the prequels was the third film. That was awesome. I thought that movie was the best of the three. Was
I agree with you, but the lightsaber battle with Darth Maul in the first film with Obi
cut
Wan
in
and Ji
half.
Guan was great.
Was it
That
you
battle.
that posted some Star Wars logic on Facebook?
Me and
There was
Logic
a
don't always go along. You sure it was
there
me?
was a meme there that said like Darth Maul cut in half returns again, and then they had like Anakin Skywalker had his legs and arms cut off, comes back as Darth Vader, and then there was something at the bottom that they actually died.
Right.
like it was like the most thing that you were like, okay, I forget what the meme's all about. I'm old. I'm sorry. The meme is lost on memory here,
Right.
but it was kind of like Star Wars logic that didn't make any sense at all, kind of
Right.
thing. But yeah, basically, Kathleen Kennedy should not be working there. She should go sweep floors or make her own movies. You know, she wants to
That's the
make a
thing. Yeah.
space movies with
Right.
a bunch of girls or whatever. That's
Right.
fine. Go for it.
Right.
Just
And
don't mess with
that's the
Star
point I'm trying
Wars.
to make. It's not so
Yeah, yeah,
much that she's a woman. It's a
yeah.
fact of
Nothing to do with that.
if you want to take your own agenda and inject it into an established series, make your own. See how well it does. If it does well, great. I highly doubt that someone ramming those ideals down your throat is going to do well. So what they do is, let's take Star Trek, let's take Star Wars, let's take Ghostbusters, and try it
Yep.
that way. And then when they flop, it's our fault. It's the fans' fault that the
Yeah.
movies bombed. They bombed
Yeah.
because we're going to these movies to get away from everyday life. We're going there
Well,
to be entertained.
it's like it's almost I think it's a bait and switch kind of thing a little bit where hey, we got Ghostbusters behind the door here, and you get behind the door and there's nothing there, and you're like, you got me. What the hell? You know what I mean? Like, and I think it's a bait and switch move. That's what I'm calling it nowadays. Is that you go to see Ghostbusters, and meanwhile it's this other thing. And don't get me wrong, but nobody's creative anymore. It seems like it's almost like Hollywood ran out of ideas.
No, I don't think they ran out of ideas. I think they're afraid to try something new. I mean, back when we were growing up,
Oh yeah,
it was always a new movie. Sometimes they did well, but now they spend so much money on marketing, so much money on the special effects that every film's got to make like $1 billion. So
yep,
no one wants to take a chance on something. I
yep.
heard for the I don't know the 30th time that the Last Starfighter. Now I really liked the Last Starfighter. Was it?
They're rebooting that, aren't they?
That's what
Or
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
is it a
So
sequel or reboot?
from my understanding, it is going to be a sequel. It's almost like
Oh, that's
he
okay
he's now going
if
to
it's
be
done well.
he's a father. They got married in space and they had some space kids, and now it's now like the Last Starfighters versus just being
Oh,
one. It'll be
plural.
more
Okay.
right. So the Gunstar I thought was a fantastic ship. I loved that ship. I liked the aliens were pretty cool looking. They obviously spent
I haven't
money in
seen that
certain
movie in
spots.
ages. I'd have to watch it
But
again.
it was a good movie, and it did okay. Like it came out against E.T. It came
I
out
saw it.
against
I
Star
just don't
Trek 2.
remember the whole thing.
Right, but it came out
I'll
at a
have to watch
time.
it again.
It came out with all these huge movies like E.T.
Yep,
I think one of
I
the Rockies
remember.
was out at that time. I think so all these
Yeah.
really really big movies came out. So the Last Starfighter didn't do as well compared to them because it was never a Spielberg film. It wasn't a Lucas film. It wasn't a
Yeah,
Stallone
yeah,
film. It was a film on its own thing, and it did okay. It made
Yep.
its real money and following years like Flash, Flash Gordon. In 1980, it did horrible in the theaters. It bombed, but it's
Now it's
got
a cult
such a cult
classic.
following now. It's a
Yeah,
cult classic, and
yeah,
the same
I
thing
agree.
happened to that. And Tron, same thing. Tron didn't do well in the theater.
Nobody understood it,
Right.
basically.
But then they came out with Legacy, and they had a good series, on Disney. I think it was Disney Plus. I think.
Revolution or something
Yeah,
like
and it
that,
was
or
good, and
is
they,
it?
and they canceled that too. And now, once again, they're coming out now, finally with Tron 3. But I'm a little afraid where they're going to go with the story. I personally felt in Tron that MCP should have been in Tron Legacy. They should have got a backup tape, and loaded a backup
Yeah,
tape, and it got out again. And it's like, what the hell? I'm like nothing now, comparably to everything else out there. But
yeah, yeah.
um,
They didn't screw it up, but it was I thought it was a little too detached, a
Hmm.
little bit. You know what I'm saying?
They
Like,
screwed up for me in one spot when Jeff Bridges got pulled in, right? His atoms got pulled into the beam, and the beam held it. It was very specific in the story. The laser was holding the atoms while he was in the machine, and when he came out of the machine, the laser put his atoms back in place. Where was Cora getting her body from? She came out. Where'd the atoms come from? Where was Clue and his whole army going to come out? What atoms were they coming from? That's what gets me. I understand it's sci-fi, but when you make it stupid,
yeah. You know what? I have a theory with science fiction, and I've always been a believer in this. Is like, if you're gonna bullshit me good.
like a car dealer or
Well,
an
not
insurance
well, yeah.
salesman.
Well,
Bullshit me
I'll give you the
well.
perfect example for that. And I think you and I spoke about this before. Independence Day. I watched that when it came out in 1998, I believe it was,
Yeah,
or
something like that.
2000.
It was like,
So I
yeah.
went to the theater, dude. I was like, God, this is a great movie, and I'm watching this thing progress and
You
three
watched it
quarters of the
to watch the White House get blown up, man. Be honest. You watched it just for that.
yeah, actually I did.
We all did.
And the some of the buildings, it's incredible. And they had me right up until the point that they opened the laptop with a Mac logo on it and uploaded the virus to this mothership, and I went, okay, I'm out. I nearly walked out of the theater. It was
Right.
three quarters of the way. I was like, bullshit me good. But
Right.
you're gonna take down an alien ship with a Mac? Wow.
Hey, there was one hell of a lot of commercials that Apple came out with after that about how good their Macs were using that scene. I don't know if you ever saw them, but
No,
Apple made
didn't
like a
want to.
bandit with that. And I agree. The movie was very believable through the whole thing. But yeah, a
It took
PC
me right
or a
out of that
Mac,
reality right there. Whoop.
I agree. Aliens, I think, have a little bit better firewall than Windows Defender, and we're able to get around it with a MacBook.
I don't even think Defender was a thing back then. It was like Windows 95 of all things. So it's kind of like, but they had me. You know what I'm saying? They had me, and and then it went as soon as they uploaded the virus with the Mac, and I knew Macintoshes back then too.
Yeah,
They
we
weren't
read it on our
nothing to write home.
Amigas. Our
Yeah,
Amigas.
exactly. They were nothing to write home about. Let's just say that near take out an alien ship and that's what I mean by if you're gonna bullshit me in science fiction, do it.
Now,
But
did you ever
don't
watch the sequel?
you know?
I think it was Resurgence, Independence Day Resurgence. Did you ever watch that sequel?
Yeah, I did.
I got about 3 minutes in. I couldn't watch it. Did you watch the whole thing?
I watched the whole thing because
What'd
I
you
was
think?
watching with the family. But did I like it? Do I remember anything from it? No. That's the thing with movies nowadays. They're not memorable. Either that or we're getting old and don't remember a damn thing. But they're just not memorable. You know what I mean? Like you walk out. Like the last memorable film I watched was Shang-Chi.
And what'd
I
you think of
love
that?
that movie. I love that movie. It was great.
That was in
Great.
the what's it? The Nine Rings, Sanchi and the Nine Rings, Ten
The
Rings,
Ten Rings.
Ten
Yeah.
Rings.
You know what? It's a well done movie. It's not too it's an unknown character relatively speaking. It's not like he just showed up and he knew everything. That you know what I mean? Have you
Right.
watched it,
You know
Glenn, at
why
all?
though? Because he wasn't Ray. He wasn't Wonder Ray.
Well, that's right. It's not the Star Wars universe with Kathleen Kennedy
Right.
having her Feige.
Right.
He had his. But did you watch that film?
No, it's on
Oh, you gotta
that.
watch it.
We haven't watched that, and I've been avoiding the Black Widow movie because I heard it wasn't
It's
bad, but I
not
heard
that great.
right. And
It's
Black
okay.
Widow for me is like here, and I have a funny feeling that movie's gonna knock her down to here. So I've been avoiding that film.
I think Shang-Chi is really good in my opinion. I don't know. The chat might blow up and go, "Ah, you're full of crap, Steven." But I loved it. I thought it was a wonderful film, good ride. But no, I'm not talking about Black Widow, but yeah, Black Widow, I thought it was okay. Do I remember? If you asked me a scene out of it, I'd be like, no. But if you ask me something about Shang-Chi,
Didn't they talk
I'll
about
be
the
like, hey,
periods? Wasn't the periods brought up with the guy playing the Russian Captain America, the guy from Stranger Things? They didn't mention something about their menstrual cycle. I was like, I don't need to watch this film. I could pass.
oh, the sheriff from
Yeah,
Stranger Things. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Because they're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
we had surgery. We don't have that problem anymore. And he's like, oh. So I was like, yeah, I don't need to see Black Widow. skip it.
It was okay. It was just not, you know, you know what I mean. But Shang-Chi, I liked it a lot. It
And
was
I see Lewis had made a comment that he loved old school Chinese fight style scenes in
oh
the
yeah,
U.S. When I was a kid, like I want to say like 1974 to 1978. There was Kung Fu Theater on Fox 5
yep.
in New York, and that man, I'm gonna come get you. You will
And the lip sync was
pay
way off, and yep.
for. Yeah, it was just so bad and yet
But
so good.
that's right. It was so bad. It was so good. And in Rochester, New York, up here in Canada, we used to get cats pajamas. You and I talked about
Are
that a
you
little bit.
stealing? Are you stealing the TV from the U.S., man?
We were,
Right?
yeah.
What?
We'd syndicate all that stuff, but at late at night, you'd have these kung fu movies that you're talking about. They're awesome. They were awesome. If you ever
I
get
missed
a
that.
chance to watch one, it's the 36 Chamber. Oh, so good. So
There
good.
was so many like I didn't know Jackie Chan back then, right? But there was I saw a bunch later on. I realized who he was.
Hmm.
But though, like it was one of the Drunken Master. But those old films were like again, it was so bad. But the fight scenes were good, you know.
Were very good, actually. You wouldn't see any of that stuff in Hollywood. That stuff that they would do, they'd get hit on the head with an actual, you know what I mean?
Well, Jackie Chan broke like every bone in his body. He's cracked his skull open. He did his own stunts, and he did some crazy, crazy. If anyone has not seen it, look it up on YouTube. Jackie Chan's,
Early stuff, eh?
behind the scenes stuff, and you can see what this poor guy did to himself to make these scenes, and he hurt himself quite a bit. I mean,
Oh
bad,
yeah.
quite a
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. He almost died a couple times too, apparently.
Right.
Jumping off stuff and whatever. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's those old kung fu movies were really good. So now as far are you gonna go see Ghostbusters? Are you gonna go see that?
I am. I know Doug. Cool Toy. Doug saw it. Doug and the other Steven are very big into Ghostbusters. I enjoyed the first film. I'm a huge fan of
The
Ghostbusters. The
first
first
and
film.
second movie was good. Ghostbusters 2.
I'm not going to say the second film was good. I can't say that. I'm going to say the second
Well, it wasn't
film
as
was
good
pretty
as the
bad.
first one, but it was okay. It's
It's
better than
better
the
than the 2016.
2016.
Yeah, it's better than
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
So, and the kid from Stranger Things is in it. So Cole's now into Stranger Things. So it's definitely on the bucket list to see. I also, in addition to Doomcock, I also watched the Critical Drinker, and he's hysterical. This guy, and he just did a review of it, and basically saying is it incredible? No. Is it decent? It is. It's mostly a fan service film, and I'm actually okay with that after the abomination of the 2016. And actually, Cole and I get
Yeah.
into fights all the time. I got to tell you a story. He's like, Dad, did you see the 2016 Ghostbusters? I said, what? There's no such film as 2016 Ghostbusters. What are you talking about? It doesn't exist. Dad, the one from 2016 with the women. Cole, I don't. Dad, yes or no? Did you or didn't you see it? I can't tell you what doesn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about. I refuse to acknowledge that film. And he's like half an hour. Dad, did you see this film? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
You're
And
going crazy. Take your medications.
his face was redder than a Granny Smith
He
apple.
should know you by now with
Yep.
all the
Yeah, I may be
leg pulling.
52.
You know what I mean? Like,
I'm 52 going on 11. He wasn't winning that fight, and he didn't.
but yeah, I'm anxious to go see Ghostbusters. It looks okay. Like you said, it's fan service from what I could tell also from not seeing it.
Right.
Maybe this weekend I'll take the wife out on a date and we'll go check it out.
Right. And it's okay for a film to cater to fan service. It is okay to do that, but sometimes they can take it over the top. So there does come a
Yeah.
point where they go too far. But I'm trying to think what film had a lot of fan service in it last that I was like, I liked it.
Like most of the movies that are out now that are redos and what about the new Batman trailer with the guy from Twilight or whatever?
What Batman film with the Twilight guy?
Oh, okay. That's how we're gonna play it. All right.
Yep.
All right. I'm not 11 years old.
Yep. Yep.
We'll move on to the next thing.
Yeah, I don't know. But, there was I don't know if you saw if you watched the Injustice, the animated DC. What'd you think of that?
I liked it.
Now, did you read the comic?
No.
Okay. So if you played the game or read the comic, it was very disappointing. Only disappointing because they did in like an hour and 20 minutes that was
Okay.
over like multitude of books. This should have been like a 3 or 4 part film. Like, was it Batman Returns Part 1 and Part 2?
Yeah, yeah.
It was really, really good. He fought Superman at the second. Um, the Injustice should have been a multiple animated film. They tried to put in too much in the one
Was the
film.
whole thing was like an hour and a half, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't even an hour and a half. It's like hour and 20. And, you really didn't see the arc that really was supposed to happen there between him and Batman and Wonder Woman. There was some things that were in there.
At the end felt like they wrapped it up. Okay, we're done.
Yeah,
Okay, go home, everybody.
They did like an hour and
it's like,
18 minutes, and in the last 2 minutes, it just went like you hit a wall. And like, what? That was it?
yeah, yeah.
But it was okay. It was okay. But I was expecting, when they announced that,
Mhm.
my eyes went like that. I was like, oh, but this is going to be awesome. And it was okay. It was okay.
Yeah, it was all right. Nothing really crazy wrong with it or whatever, but yeah.
Steven
They were-
just said that Mr. Mom couldn't be Batman back in the day. And I agree. I do admit, was it 1988 that Michael Keaton was Batman? Was it back
He
then?
was the first one.
He was the first one. And when he did the trailer
Danny
for him,
DeVito
I'm
was
like,
the Penguin.
yeah, no, that was the second one. That wasn't the second one. It was
No,
it
was
was
that the first
just no, it was Jack Nicholson, just him and Jack Nicholson.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You're right.
And I'm like, Jack
Yeah.
Nicholson is a Joker, I see it, but Michael Keaton is Batman, I don't see it. So I admit
And
that.
we all loved it.
I admit that, and he's like, me personally, he's the best one.
What do you think, Val Kilmer with his Batman?
I never liked him, and I sure as hell didn't like George Clooney. really
What
didn't
was
like
the one
George
in
Clooney.
between? Hold on.
Wasn't that it?
There was Keaton.
It was Keaton, and then it was you just said his name, the guy
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer, and then George Clooney. Those were the
Oh, okay. I
three.
thought there was somebody in between.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
So out of those three, there's no question Michael Keaton was the best. And I hear they're bringing him back as well as like in a cameo in something.
hmm
I'll admit, I didn't see Mr. Mom doing it. Val Kilmer, that's correct. Yes. Have you seen Val Kilmer lately though? Oh my God.
Oh no! Did you watch the documentary that he put out on Amazon? It's
He had,
called Val. I think it's just called Val.
Well, he had throat cancer.
Dude, he's sad. Like, I mean, I feel my heart goes out to him.
When you
He's
see
not- he's
him
not
in
the
like
man he
Top
used to
Gun,
be, in a
no,
sense, you know what I
see
mean?
him in Top Gun, and then see him now, and it's
You
same
won't
thing.
recognize him.
No,
You
but
won't
it's
recognize
the
him.
same thing for the guy who played in The Mummy.
Well, who did I see? Just Tim Burton.
Okay,
There was an interview with the guy, and he's barely can talk.
well, he's Tim Burton. What'd you expect?
Oh no, I don't know if it was Tim Burton. Hold on. The guy that I think he played in the Birdcage with Robin Williams.
How do you know about the Birdcage? Why would
that
you
was,
know? Why would you know about the Birdcage,
It was
Steven?
a funny movie. It's a funny
Oh my God!
Well,
Really?
see, look, it sounds like you've seen it too. But saying
No,
stuff
I have
like
not.
that.
I've seen the picture of the Birdcage, and everyone says, "Let's go watch it."
Well,
It's
who
great.
was the guy that was
No,
in the
I'm not watching the
Birdcage?
Birdcage.
I forget what the actor. Anyways, I'm just remembering the actor. Saw an interview with him. He was sad looking too. Oh my God. Val Kilmer, if you watch that documentary, you'll be blown away. I watched it and I was like, oh my goodness.
Real
It's,
quick here, Papa Brad said that the Dark Knight trilogy was the best. It was okay. It was okay.
Was the actor again from American Psycho is in that again? I forget. Or it
No.
was American Psycho.
No, it was the guy from the Terminator Salvation who went.
Yeah,
crazy.
but that's the guy who played American Psycho.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it's American Psycho. Hold on. What the hell's the guy's name?
Look him up. There's a thing called the internet.
Yeah.
Oh, we have the Rexer. Rexer's here. How you doing,
There he
Rexer?
is.
We have Lewis here. Papa Brad.
American Psycho.
Sushine.
Christian Bale. That's
Christian
what it
Bale.
is.
How did I forget Christian Bale? How can I
Yeah,
forget
me
his name?
too. He played in American Psycho. That's where I seen him the first time. And then they said they were casting him for Batman. I went, okay. You know what I mean? It's
A couple of friends of mine, they're younger than me, really liked that series. To me, it was okay.
I
It
liked
was
them
just
all.
okay.
I mean, the only Batmans I did not like was the one with Schwarzenegger and as Mr. Freeze and
That
all
was
that.
George
I
Clooney.
think Clooney.
That was
Yeah,
George Clooney.
they were trying to shove in too much
Too
stuff
much.
in one.
Exactly.
It's like Spider-Man 3. They were
Which,
just putting in the
well,
kitchen
wait.
sink in there,
There,
you know.
well, you talk about the first Spider-Man 3, not the Amazing Spider-Man, right?
Well, they never made an Amazing Spider-Man 3, right? So there
Exactly. You know
was,
why? Because it sucked. That's
yeah,
why.
yeah,
But I tell you, I'm
and
looking forward to. Was it Can't Go Home?
uh,
Spider-Man Can't Go Home.
Far From Home or
Far From
something like
Home. No,
that.
no, no. It was Homecoming,
The
Far
new
From
one.
Home, and now it's No Way Home. No Way Home.
Yeah, something like that
Yeah,
with the Goblin and
that looks
Doc
really.
Ock.
Doc Ock is in it, and
Yeah.
the original Spider-Man's in it, and so that looks.
Well, apparently the room. Well, there was an interview with what was the guys from the Amazing one there, Andrew Garfield, and
Why
they
do you know
asked
his
him.
name? You scare me sometime, dude.
Well, I'm a Spider-Man fan, so I didn't hate those movies. There was far worse stuff out there. But they asked him about Spider-Man. Are you going to be in the new Spider-Man? And he said no. He's probably bullshitting
He's
maybe,
got to
but
be, because he
if
is in it.
it,
I'm making a call
he
right now. He's in it.
him and Maguire,
Oh yeah, totally in it.
yeah, I hope so. It'd be kind of cool to see them there to
It's like the Spider-Verse movie, which I
yeah.
again thought was okay. Everyone loved that movie. I thought it was average.
Oh, into the Spider-Verse.
Yep, I thought it was average, but everyone loved it.
I liked it a lot just for the art style. The story was okay, but the art style was amazing. All that psychedelic, really awesome colors and animation style was really cool in my opinion.
Yeah, it
So
was okay. It was okay.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. So it's so other than that, Christmas is around the corner. What are you hoping to see, do, or get, or
I would
products for?
love a Sea-Doo. If someone wants to send me a Sea-Doo, I can ride it in my basement. I got all this
Yeah.
water over here.
Yeah, we won't get into your water thing because I think we're going to evoke some emotions that are going to be harmful to our
Well,
viewers.
it's only towards State Farm and Jake from State
Yeah,
Farm. If I see
you don't
Jake
want
from
to be
State
sued,
Farm,
man.
I'm telling
You
you,
don't want
if I see Jake from State Farm, I'm literally gonna get Negan and we're gonna tie him down and bludgeon him and leave him. Well, leave him after we bludgeon him. 'Cause State Farm, you suck. State Farm, you suck. Period.
If I lived
Period.
closer, I'd help you put up the drywall and get things going again.
Yep.
But yeah,
State
so that kind
Farm,
of
to say
sucks.
we know, State Farm basically denied the $30,000 water mitigation, and Air Care Environmental did a wonderful job. They came out and did a wonderful job. We called State Farm before to make sure everything was okay. State
Yeah,
Farm goes, "You're okay." They do it, send the bill. Yeah, we're not covering it.
yeah, exactly. It's pretty sad. But you got any Christmas plans? Are you got any? Are you traveling? Are you?
Well, I am probably going to stay home. Not going to do anything too crazy. I don't want to talk about anything that might happen because things are supposed to be a surprise.
Oh well, yeah, of course.
Of course. And Cole gets Cole every year because there's something named after him. So every year my son Cole gets Cole.
Oh, great. You're that kind of dad, are you?
Yeah, well, I'm giving it's in his name. If his name was Diamond, I would have got him diamonds. If his name was Gold, I would have got him gold. His name's
Well,
Cole.
you're the one that named him, aren't you? I know you and your wife, but
Technically, I suppose I was, Stephen. Yes.
you had a say in it, the thing, Hey,
Actually,
honey,
I will say that I
do
had the
we call him
whole.
Cardboard Box,
Yeah, I got the
or what are
first
we doing?
name. I got the first name. My wife Melissa had gotten the middle name, so
Oh,
it
okay.
was totally he was almost Maximilian, just to piss everyone off. I was from the black hole. I was gonna call him Maximilian. That was one of the names that was on his
Try
plate.
to say the whole name, his entire name in one shot with that first name.
It would have been horrible. Maximilian Russell Platimento. It would have been
Yeah,
horrible.
yeah, that would have been like, okay, I'm done
Yeah,
talking to
all
this
the
kid.
school
Leave.
papers, and it took me to sign something. He would have killed me. He would have killed
Yeah,
me. So that didn't
exactly.
happen.
But
But
you
it
got
came
no plans for
close.
Christmas or whatever? I mean, we're not planning too far ahead here, but
No, and
uh,
actually, I'm lucky this week. I
oh yeah, it's you guys. It's
work.
Thanksgiving next week
It
or
is
whatever.
this week, so I actually took
This
this week
week.
off. I needed a week to
Well, happy
relax.
Thanksgiving to everybody in
Thank
the
you.
U.S. there. Yeah,
We appreciate that. The turkeys will not appreciate that, but we appreciate that.
our turkeys died last month.
Poor
Our,
things are
our
delicious, though.
Thanksgiving was last month, so yeah, there was a whole bunch. Uh, you know, Canadian turkeys
hold on.
that died.
Lewis wrote something here. I want Vincent. I assume he's talking about Vincent from the Black Hole, and you can get them. I bought a Vincent recently.
Is it a robot from Black Hole?
Yeah, Vincent. I think that's what he's talking about. He said,
I haven't
want
seen
Vincent.
that movie in like forever.
You know
I
what?
should,
that movie
watch
was
it again.
great up until like the last 20 minutes when they.
Did they make? Okay, so what was the movie they remade with Joey from Friends? Wasn't it the Black Hole or was
No, Lost in Space.
Lost in Space? That's what it was.
Lost in
Yeah,
Space.
yeah,
And
yeah.
another film. You know what? In the original series, they were fighting people in carrot costumes or fig costumes. So when you put it in that kind of perspective, it was pretty good. Netflix, I think this December is the final season of Lost in Space on Netflix.
Oh, the good one.
Debatable.
I like the Netflix one. I actually
they're calling it Lost in Space, but they're not lost in space. They're with a whole bunch of other people. And here's my other problem with it: they were going to Alpha Centauri, right? They're going to Alpha Centauri, and they're on all these other planets and stars. Alpha Centauri is the closest star. If you screw it up, you end up back here or there. There's no other stars. So how are they ending up on all these other planets? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, Steven.
I don't think anybody's been over there yet, Glenn. Just sorry. Sorry to break it to you. But I get what you're saying. But it's all right. My wife and I are on Netflix. We're watching Mom. It's an old series, but it's pretty funny.
I'm actually, Jen has me into the show called Invasion. It's on believe it or not, it's Apple TV. I don't have it, but she does.
Invasion.
The guy from Jurassic Park was in it for like 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Don't know what. With 2 shows in, no idea what's going on. No, still have no idea what's going on. Nothing. I mean,
what was the other one that we're watching? We're watching
Stranger Things. Right? That's still going on for Cole. He wants to see Stranger Things.
He hasn't watched it yet?
No, he refused to watch it. But then I guess one of his friends watched it, and season 4 is coming out, so he got into it. Now he's like, we're going to start taping him watch it. He's like, oh my God. He says, no, he's just, no, don't go. He's not scared, but he's just too interactive. I'm trying to tell him it's a TV show. It's like, there's not real people there. They can't hear you.
Yeah. What was hold on, Foundation. You get a chance to watch that. It's pretty good.
Is that a woman putting on makeup for her whole episode? Foundation?
No, not that. It's based on Isaac Asimov's books.
Oh.
It's pretty good. So nothing about makeup, And then on the Apple thing, it's there's one called C. It has Aquaman in it. Jason Momoa. That's not bad. It's about civilization that's gone blind, and then there's people that actually see, but they're like a unicorn kind of thing. They're so rare. It's not bad. It's kind of like these shows that after a while you kind of get sick of it. It's kind of like Supergirl. Supergirl was awesome for the first while, and the last 2 seasons are garbage. They've got all these crazy political things in there. It's like, oh,
I'll never forget the poster when Superman was going to join the show.
Mm-hmm. He's got his own show now.
Yeah, you can look it up. I know, but you can look it up. Superman comes in Supergirl. That was that was the title until they realized you better pull that title. You better pull that down. But it's still, you can find it on the internet. It's still out there. It's hysterical.
It's a legit poster.
It's a legit poster. Superman comes in Supergirl. It's like, oh my God. They're cousins, for God's sake.
Yeah, a little incest. Yeah, incest.
On regular TV, there's really nothing I'm watching. But Netflix has some stuff. There was another show on Apple TV about an alternative for landing on the moon for all mankind. I've been trying to watch it. I've been trying, but it's like I cut myself and I'm putting salt on it. It's
apparently
just like tedious.
It's the Russians that get there first.
Right.
What if kind of thing.
Right.
I think you told me about that, and I watched
did.
some of it.
Right. The problem
Didn't get
is,
into it?
Now, but I'm noticing on Apple TV, and just maybe the shows I'm watching on Apple TV, they spend way too much time talking. I mean, they'll spend like 59 minutes and 60 minutes. Action. Yeah, and it's just like, what's going on? Like, I'm watching the show Invasion for two hours. I still have no idea what the hell's going on. I mean, nothing. And each episode's an hour, but it feels like 6 hours.
Yeah, I found that with for All Mankind, it felt like that. That was a
Right.
very lengthy and very dramatic, and not enough rockets going up into space or whatever. But hey, I did want to ask you a question.
You can
Totally off topic
put a
here.
quarter on the pill. Put a
We've
quarter on the
never
pill.
talked about this on this show, and I think due to the nature of this show, what YouTube channels do you watch? Like, who do you like out there and stuff like that? And I'll share
You
mine
know what?
too
I'll tell you.
because
I actually posted videos years ago about just that.
yeah,
But we can talk about it here. I'm going to go
we don't have to if
no,
you
I'm going
don't
to go
feel.
all over the map, and I'll try and I'm not going to be able to mention everyone because I have.
Well, maybe
I,
what we can do is narrow it to who is on your favorites right now.
okay, I'm going to
You know what I
talk
mean?
about. I'm going to talk about channels that are outside the scope of retro gaming because there's
Oh
way
yeah,
too
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
too
talking
many
the
for that.
carte blanche here.
Right.
I'm not talking about like
So
specific retro
the
gaming.
big ones I watch is Doomcock.
Oh
I do
yeah,
watch him. He's very
yeah.
good.
Same here.
The Critical Drinker, I think he's fantastic. I have not seen one bad
I'll
video
have
from
to
him.
sub to him
Yeah,
just
he
to check it out.
reviews. He does movie reviews and TV show reviews. He's fantastic. I really enjoy him. Um, After that, those are probably the big guys outside because everything else is like retro gaming related. You know, I'm all in there, and I do watch like PBS Space Time. I try and watch that, but I'm like my eyes glaze over, even for me. And I'm big into that stuff. But he starts talking and gets into these equations, and I'm like a deer in the headlights. What are your top three?
I don't know if I have a top three per se, but I've been watching a nothing YouTube channel related right now, but I sort of did a deep dive into Elon Musk's sort of, I won't say life, but you know what I'm saying? More what makes this guy tick. Apparently, this
Okay,
guy dude works like a bazillion hours a day and never sleeps. And
he's
but
an android, don't you know? He's an
that guy's
android
gonna
from the
change our
future.
world, man. Like he's already changing it now. Like I mean, self-landing rockets. Who does that? So it's I've been watching videos on him. So wherever I can get that, I'd watch. Um, you know, uh, and I watch Aussie Man reviews a lot.
Okay.
I really like Aussie Man. I'm sure some of our viewers love Aussie Man also. He's an Australian guy that uh, does commentary on videos, and he has these videos where people do stupid crap, and he says that they're all going to
I must be all
destination
over
fuck.
this channel. You must be seeing me on there all the time then.
Yeah, he talks about people that do screw ups, and they call them these guys are going to destination fucked, basically, and it's pretty funny. So hopefully, we don't have too many kids in our audience, but yeah, see, Lewis knows what he's talking about, and essentially, who else have I been watching on the retro side of things? Uh,
Grunge
Everybody
Retro
right
Show.
now is talking about the same stuff, like the Atari cartridges.
Yeah,
I
what do you
must
think about that?
my thing was just full of that, and I was like, I think it's good if they do it properly. If they just do it like they've done all their other Atari crap in the past, not good. You know what I'm saying? Like they just got to do it properly. Like if they're gonna do it where they take prototypes, do new artwork, that kind of stuff, and they don't charge a fortune for these things. Like for me, a retro game, it shouldn't cost more than $50. I'm sorry. If you're charging more than $50 for either a conversion or whatever.
Well, I'll say I'll pay $50 for small fry making it, but a company like Atari, I know it's not the real Atari. A company like that, I would say $30 would be
Yeah, yeah,
max
yeah.
for
I'm
me.
talking homebrew, I guess,
Yeah,
is what I
homebrew, I could see 50 because you got to make the
no
cartridges and
more
stuff
than
like that.
50 though.
I
I
could
don't
see that.
care. I don't care who you are and who you think you are in the retro community. I think more than $50, you're starting to rip people off. Because I
Right.
know what it costs to do a cartridge mold. Yes, it's expensive. Yes, you got to recoup your costs. I get all that. But in the end, the total package to put out a retro game, as far as materials, I'm not talking about the time, it's under $20.
And Papa Brad said real quick, and everyone should know about Atari Age. You know, the Atari Age is a great website. I've been working on getting him on the show.
Hmm.
But Atari H does great things, and he'll cartridgeize games. It's a great website, and it's more about than just Atari. I mean, you can have Xbox and Vectrex and
Yeah, yeah,
all the consoles around there. But what's really good about it is a lot of times you can get downloads of the ROM. Sometimes they'll have the ROMs for these available. It might be a
yeah,
beta too, like a late beta, but Atari is a good resource.
yeah. If I mean, are you on that bandwagon? Are you gonna buy these 2600 cartridges of
I
Yar's
am
Revenge 2 or
not.
whatever?
I am not because the Atari of today is a leach field. That Atari VCS was an abomination. No, I won't. I won't buy it from them.
You know what? You know what's weird? I'm not an Atari guy. Don't get me wrong. I have a few Atari systems that I've acquired, blah, blah, cartridges, all that stuff. Do I think like I've seen a mixed bag of people that bought the VCS, the new one,
Right?
and it's all over the map.
Yeah.
There's people that love it so much that it's Atari and everything.
Yep. Blinded.
Sorry about that.
I'm
Had to
that's
sneeze.
okay. I'm a huge Atari fan. That's what I grew up with.
But that's what I
That's
mean.
my
Are they
machine.
just pulling on your heartstrings?
Yeah, but I'm not falling
You know.
for it. That machine was an abomination. I remember I was talking to ETA Prime 2 years ago,
Okay.
and he backed it. He said, "Yeah, Glenn, I backed it." I said, "Oh, I wouldn't have backed it."
Yeah, yeah.
And he finally got it, but you didn't get anything worth the money you spent on it. That's the problem.
It's an Android box, basically.
It's a
That's the
way
thing.
overpriced device
Yeah,
that
yeah, it's an Android box.
was overhyped and underachieved. Um,
You know what it is? They
disappointing.
made it just like the 2600 wood grain finish. Like
Oh,
they
only
were
if you
just.
spent extra. Otherwise, it was the Vader edition. You had to spend extra money for that wood grain.
Did
You
you
didn't
really?
get, yeah. Otherwise, you got the Vader edition. You had to spend an extra $80,
Uh,
$100 to
you
get
know
the
what?
wood grain. That's why I'm saying they totally are a
You know
sleaze
what's
company
weird?
at that point.
I'm gonna say something that I think is the truth of this industry, or at least those guys. I think there's some of the people that are still from the old Atari and the new one because they think the console will sell the games, not the other way
Right,
around.
right,
When
right.
are people going to realize that, guess what? You
Software.
can have the most kick-ass console, but if your games all suck, guess what? You're not selling a damn thing.
Right.
And
That was Atari's problem quite a few times. In the
yeah,
5200,
don't they learn their damn
yeah,
lessons? I
yeah. I
mean,
mean, the
that's
5200 they screwed up with the controllers too, but a lot of times the most powerful console out there did not win the
no,
war.
no. The perfect example of that I won't say tomorrow, yesterday, whatever, is the PS2 and the Xbox. The Xbox had, and everybody knows, well, not everybody, but most people will understand. I'm a big Xbox guy, but the reality is the PS2 had Grand Theft Auto 3 and all those exclusives that the Xbox didn't have till many years later. And guess what? They outsold the Xbox, and they had the games on there and all the exclusives. And if it weren't for Halo, Xbox would be dead.
Right.
So what I'm getting at is the companies now are understanding, the big players anyways are understanding that the games sell the consoles, not the other way around.
Papa
That's
Brad just put a good text in there, and I want to first of all thank everyone who was in the chat. Now we're
yeah,
trying to
for
do
sure.
some talking and to you guys too, but the Atari did have killer apps. They had
Demon
Berserk,
Attack.
Missile Command, Atari Demon Attack, great games. They also had crappy games too. But that was just the point. The Atari wasn't very popular until Space Invaders came out. That was the killer app.
Hmm.
Then it started selling like crazy. And then
Well, yeah.
they tried doing it with Pac-Man and they blew it. But that Space
Well,
Invaders
they fooled people
sold
at the
units.
beginning, right? Like they
Right.
fooled people to say, hey, we got Pac-Man over here. It's crappy Pac-Man, but it's Pac-Man. You know what I mean? It's not the Pac-Man you're used to playing.
It's so barely Pac-Man
Oh yeah,
that they
that's what I
call
mean.
it that. I
Yep.
was working at a video store. I was only like 11. I was working at a video store when that came out. And when I saw it, I was like, what the hell is this? This isn't Pac-Man. And people would buy
Oh
it.
yeah,
And they were back an hour later returning it.
yeah,
They're like, what is this?
and I don't blame them. ET sold Atari.
Yeah.
That's a good one. So yeah, and Papa Brad, I've got Xboxes out the wazoo. Some modded, some not modded, different colors, all that stuff. And yeah, it made a great. It still to this day makes a great emulation machine. The original Xbox.
Yep.
So it's I don't know. It's this. I think going into the retro world, you have to be not super careful, but you got to be careful. You can't just put out whatever,
Right.
hope everybody's going to come marching back. And
Now, what
I
do you?
kind of lost respect for people that bought this 2600
I don't.
VCS.
I don't lose respect for them because
Ah,
they wanted it back. The company
I
Atari was
know.
coming out and they were trying, or people thought they were trying to make a comeback, and I was very close on doing it myself. But I usually
Well, they
don't
showed
pre-order
just a
things.
console.
Right. Right.
Like they showed like to me, like, I think as gamers, we should be a little wiser, in my opinion, is don't look at the damn machine. It could look like a toaster for all we care. As long as you're playing an awesome game with great graphic sound and whatever you want
Well,
or
the angry video
desire.
game nerd has the Nintendo toaster, so he's got his NES toaster.
Well, yeah,
So they have
exactly.
it.
So I think in the end, don't be googly-eyed by the machine. The machine, if it's gonna do what it's gonna do, and when I saw all the Atari folks go over and buy this VCS, I'm like, what are you guys doing? Wait for the games to come out. That was my message. So
Right.
that's why I
But they
lost a little
lied about
respect
that
and went,
too.
come on, man.
They
I'm
had
like,
like I think it was Tempest 4000, all these games, and everyone's like, I didn't program my game for what's this demo you're showing? That's not my game on your machine. It was on a PlayStation or something like that.
well,
So
that's the
Atari,
thing.
right? They bait and
And in the
switched.
end, yeah, that's the thing, right? So in the end, um, that's the whole idea is that uh, don't be rushing out to buy a console. Because right now, a lot of these companies are putting ARM processors for Android devices in these things.
Right.
And like, I don't know what the Miko has inside, but I'd be willing to bet that there's an Android chip in
And
there
what
or
do you think
something.
about the Amico? I mean, there's been a lot of stuff going back and forth about that as
It's
of
about the
late.
games. I've seen the games. Don't get me wrong, the games that I've seen are interesting, but I'm waiting. I'm really waiting because
That is one I
I
might
have
pick up.
zero
Might.
nostalgia for Intellivision.
I have a
Zero.
little. My
Oh no,
friend
well,
my friend had an Intellivision.
oh,
When you had an
I won't
Atari
say zero. I
2600.
meant,
I
don't
know.
get me wrong. For me personally, no,
I
I
know.
have zero. I have
I liked the
An Atari.
IntelliVoice.
Sorry, I have an Intellivision 2 with a few games, and I have the IntelliVoice. And my cousin had it, and I had lots of
Space
fun.
Spartans.
What's that?
Space Spartans.
I
B
forget which one
17
it is.
bomber.
I forget which one it was. I'll have to look again. I have it. I collected it, but I didn't. But I'm sitting there going, do I have nostalgia for Intellivision? No. Is it the same company? No. It's the same thing as Atari. It's a
Right.
whole different animal. It's a whole different everything. If the games are good, like look at it this
But the
way. If I
games
just
look
saw
like they came off a
games,
cell phone. They look like cell phone games.
they do. If they use that controller that's unique in a creative way, maybe. But yeah, Astro Smash is one of the games, and I want to see more games. I haven't seen a game that's caught my eye yet.
Right.
I didn't see one that goes, "Oh my God, I got to get this thing." And that to me, when you buy a console or a new platform of anything, you want that game that makes you crazy for it. You know what I mean? And then you end up falling in love with the console after, because we played Donkey Kong at home. That's what made us fall in love with the ColecoVision. You
Right.
know what I mean? That's because I'm playing Donkey Kong, and you have to admit it's pretty close to the arcade.
It
Not
is.
totally close,
Well,
but it's
when you compare all the consoles, that
that's
was
right.
as close as you were going to get, and it was
That's right.
damn good.
And
It
that's what
really
I
was.
meant. Like you were playing Donkey Kong at home. You were the cool kid on the block, and that's what made you fall in love with the ColecoVision. That's what I
And it
believe.
wasn't even too. I mean, it was expensive, but it was 189 at a time when television was still 200 and the Atari was like 150. So 189, you could have got yourself a ColecoVision with Donkey Kong.
Yeah, it was a clear winner just for that. Exactly. So to me, in television, like you were asking, I'm waiting for that killer app or the one that'll pull me in kind of thing on the Intellivision. And I don't want to see that running pixel guy. Don't get me wrong. I get it. It's their logo. I get it. I totally get it. And I think Tommy is going up to bat in the proper retro way, we'll call it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I think Tommy Tallarico is doing his best effort to make this work. Unlike the Chameleon and the
Well, it's
VCS
not
thing,
easy.
you know, it's
I
not
mean, you
easy
have a company like
because you're
Sony or Nintendo and
he's going up
Microsoft
the
launching a console is a million dollar thing. These
yeah,
guys are doing it
exactly.
with pocket change.
I
and it's
think he's
not
doing
easy.
his best. I know people shit on him for various reasons, but between you and I
Well, he's
think
his worst
it's
own
an
enemy
admirable thing.
sometimes.
Yeah, but I think he's doing an admirable effort, in my opinion, to make this work, to make this right and do right by the Intellivision fans. And I'm not a big Intellivision fan. I don't hate Intellivision. It doesn't have that nostalgic hook. But if he can bring me in with a game that'll appeal to me that maybe doesn't look like a cell phone game, like you were saying, and then maybe,
I'll tell you
maybe.
that the thing that really hurt the Intellivisions, what killed the 5200 was that controller.
Those
The controller was
controllers in the
horrible.
80s. Name me one controller in the 80s that was awesome.
The
One.
Atari joystick was great. I mean, for the games, it was simple games, but that joystick
Yeah, yeah,
worked
yeah.
great.
But I mean, like, ergonomically speaking, where you can, oh my goodness,
Yeah,
this is the whole.
the way I look at it this way, if the 5200 controller actually worked reliably between that and television, I did a whole video on it, and
Yeah.
ColecoVision, I would definitely pick the 5200 controller, ColecoVision, and then Intellivision. But the Atari joystick is crap because it breaks. So
Yeah,
then I had
yeah.
to go ColecoVision, still 5200, and still Intellivision last, just because that disc was just not designed for games. If you thought
Oh
it was hard
no.
playing Pac-Man with the Atari joystick in the 5200, try using the disc in Intellivision.
Did they make a homebrew clone on there for Pac-Man on
For
the
the
Intellivision?
Intellivision, yeah, there
Yeah.
is. There's
There's
there's a
not an
couple
official
ports.
release. It's a homebrew, right?
Atari, I think Atari Soft made one,
Did they?
but it wasn't released. And then I think someone got a
Oh,
copy of it and
okay.
released it.
Okay.
But there was a couple of clone ports. But I added a joystick. You had to open up the controller and you pulled out the paddle,
Oh,
the
but
disc,
still, you're
and you
doing
put
open heart surgery at
You
that point.
did, and the joystick made it so much better. But of course, now it killed the look of the
Yeah, I'm
Intellivision.
all for opening up and modding stuff. I really am. But to me, it's about the games in the end. Like the Xbox, what pulled me in was Halo, and
Actually, I agree with you. I
like
didn't
like
have an yeah.
Halo pulled
That
me
was
in,
it.
and the console was very attractive too, with the Ethernet port and the hard drive and all that stuff. That package was very, it was all the right moves in a sense, a little bit for Microsoft,
But it also was 500 pounds and
Oh
was,
yeah, the thing with the Duke controller was a complete failure. The ginormous gorilla hand
a lot of people did
controller.
like it though.
I liked it, but it didn't. It was too big, dude. Like I have, I won't say ginormous hands, but I have big hands, and it was good. But you feel the new ones, and it's eons ahead, right? It's a whole different. And then they brought the S controller from Japan and used that one instead.
Do you prefer the newer Xbox controller or the PlayStation controller?
Oh, the Xbox controller by far.
Really?
They did their homework. The new Xbox Series S and X controller, it's I won't say the perfect controller, but it's pretty damn good. It's Bluetooth. It feels really good. It's grippy and it's pretty awesome. It's I don't play much stuff on the new Xbox. I started playing the Avengers game that came out a few years ago. It's on Game Pass, which is like Netflix for Xbox, where you have
Right?
unlimited games and you can play unlimited. Oh, by the way, also there's a documentary that they announced on the 20th anniversary of Xbox, which was on the 15th. There's a documentary on how they made the Xbox coming out, made by
When is that?
professional.
When's
What's
that?
that?
When is that? Oh, it's right
December.
around the corner.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's come. I don't know where it's gonna premiere. I don't know if it's going on YouTube or behind a paywall. I don't know, but it's how they got there, like pitching it to Bill Gates and trying to convince Bill Gates and Steve Ballmer to make a video game console and all that stuff. Apparently, it was pretty funny. Um,
Yeah, I think I remember reading that like Bill Gates really had no
and
initial
oh,
interest
he
at
had no
all.
interest at the beginning. Ballmer screamed at them for trying to do this, and
You ever
they
seen Bomber
actually.
scream? It's like a
Oh
gorilla
yeah.
throwing poo.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's pretty comical actually. I never met the guy. I've met Phil Spencer and Larry Herb and Major Nelson, Larry Herb, same person. I've met those people before, but yeah, it's yeah. Bomber never met the guy. I've stood relatively close in a room. I will say with Bomber. he was doing a presentation at one of the Microsoft summits I was at, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, dude, I think it's that time. We reached our
It
hour.
is. We're trying to be good. We're trying to put in just an hour, and I know the Super Game Room dudes are probably just started up, so we want you guys to go, of
Yep.
course, join them.
I'm really happy everybody showed up. I didn't expect, like, you literally called me 3 hours ago and said, "Hey, we're doing this." I'm like, "Okay, let's do
I
it."
did, and I didn't promote it. We had a lot of people joining us that didn't even promote it, and people just came on and joined.
You know
We
what?
really
This
appreciate
is
everyone
great
coming
that
on.
you have a fan base like this, Glenn. It's awesome that we could just.
I thought they were your fans. I thought you brought them.
Well, I only brought a few people, but my buddy Jason didn't show up tonight, it seems. So, Saber Gaming, go check out his channel. He does all survival video game play. So, survival games.
Married games.
I call
He
him.
plays
He
married
likes.
games.
I basically tell him that he likes to torture himself with survival games. Basically, he loves to play those games. I like to play some, but not all. So it's pretty cool. So
Well,
I think
everyone, we do want to thank all of you in the chat
Yep,
for coming
absolutely.
in. We appreciate it, and
Yep.
we're going to be doing it again. I'm not sure if we're going to do it next Friday because Thursday is Thanksgiving. But Stephen, if you're available, and if we want to do it, maybe we'll do an episode next week. We can talk about
Give me a call before 3 hours before.
Okay, 2 hours. I'll give you a call 2 hours.
Okay,
before.
that's good enough. Yeah, no problem.
All right,
Well,
everyone,
happy
listen.
Thanksgiving, the American friends, and have yourself a safe and happy holidays. And when's Black Friday again? This Friday? Coming up? Not today, but next Friday.
Day after Thanksgiving. So a week
Okay.
from today is Black Friday.
I got to look out for those deals. We get that up here, up in Canada. That's a recent thing. We never had that. We usually go for Boxing Day, which is the day after Christmas.
Well,
Not
that's
Wrestling Day, but Boxing Day.
Yeah,
and I think they
yeah.
do that in Australia also.
I say I don't go out Black Friday to find stuff. I just go to watch the mayhem. The
Oh,
mayhem.
you're sadistic.
I see like 9-year-old
Jennifer will
women
keep you indoors
whacking
now.
people with the canes to get like something.
Okay,
it's
is
hysterical.
Jennifer going to restrain you or actually encourage you?
I have no idea.
Well, you'll find out next week.
I guess so. I have no idea. But listen, everyone, have a great evening. Super Game Room Dudes is live. The Retro Buzz will be back not next week, but the following week. But for right now, I want you guys to remember one thing: no matter what you do, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your kids you love them, and game on.
Game on, guys.